a lot happens in 10 years. You meet a lot of artists and you meet a lot of writers and musicians, and life happens, and you know, some of them are still with us and it's really wonderful to be on that journey still with them, and then some of them are now on another journey and we no longer have them. And for me, who's kind of a sentimental sort, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with running a gallery and why you keep returning to certain artists, because you know, you want to stay in touch with them. You want to stay in touch with what they're creating, and you feel somehow connected to what they're making. And it informs your life, and you're permanently altered by the experience of working with these really terrific people. So I feel personally impacted every time somebody goes. It's just one of those things. And you know, and we all do. So the only way that I know how to do it is to continue to work with them in whatever way it is. And actually there's a few deceased artists in this exhibition that I could speak to very specifically on how they altered my life in working with them, you know. So it's just been a very rich experience having this gallery and having the privilege of working with so many really extraordinary, talented people. This winter we, actually right before December, we lost Anne McGarrell, who lived with her husband up in where is it again? It's not Thetford, it's, will come to me in just a minute. It is north of here. It's up 91, and it's very far. It's not far from Paley. It takes quite a while to get there. And she was married to the painter James McGarrell, two very extraordinarily talented people. And Anne I didn't get to work with very often, but in the preparation for her reading, I just really enjoyed her so much. There was a part of her life experience that was very endearing to me, and the way that she bravely moved through so many sort of difficult things. Her daughter died when the hurricane hit Haiti. And it was one of those extraordinarily tragic things that I'm not sure how she got over, but she did. In her way, she brought this extraordinary kind of grief to her poetry that was in a still very sort of highly intellectual, very sort of sensual way that I just found to be, yet again, an enormous gift. And that's the beauty of the arts, right? We're bringing in all the time these extraordinary experiences to the way that we are, you know, presenting to the world. Things that were resolved about, unresolved about, things that have become sort of very beautiful in the manifestation of that particular personality. So, and then the other person that passed away was a dear friend who, his name is R.C. Williams, and he, I have a particular fondness for because he was very instrumental in forming this community in a certain sense. You know, he's a very large part of how this community, I think, became so kind of well-rounded. He had a huge effect on the sort of the economy of it, probably, and just had this incredible vision. And the times that we talked, it was always about this, geez, what you're doing is really great. I know how difficult it is to be in such a rural place, you know, doing this kind of level of presentation. So he was sort of one of those cheerleaders that had come from such a deep experience that it was just really helpful to have somebody like that in this community, understanding so well of, you know, what it takes to be really creative, actually. And he did it quite beautifully and very successfully. And he went on to do other great things, like have this wonderful relationship with his partner and travel the world sailing, and then became a poet. And that too was at a fairly accomplished level. So it's in that poetry that we feel the resolution of this enormously creative person. So even though he comes from a completely different discipline, I just wanted to pull R.C. into this just for my own sense of letting you know how much I appreciated him. So I feel that probably what I should do is read a little bit of R.C.'s poems to get us started. This is actually the first time we've ever done something like this. It's sort of a tribute to writers that we've that we've selected today. I should actually say that Galway Kinnell did also read here, and I can't remember when it was now, but in the 10 years, I think it must have been about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, and it was an absolutely extraordinary reading. And I'm just really happy that Gary actually brought a recording of him reading tonight. Were you there for that one, George?
I think I was.
Yeah, I think you might have been. But anyway, I mean, had this incredible presence, and I don't think he was a particularly well man at the time, but this just absolutely grounded experience of really, like, you know, I felt like he was sort of channeling Robert Frost, but, you know, of course he was Galway Kinnell, but it was just that feeling of, you know, the brilliance of, and the sheer practice of sticking with something that, you know, with this incredible vision that he had. So anyway, I did know, I never met Maxine, and I didn't meet Grace Paley, unfortunately. I would have died to have met Grace Paley. Truly, anyway, so I'm really grateful to both Kerrin and Liz for bringing their particular appreciation for those writers today. So, R.C. Williams. I haven't picked the longest poems. I picked ones that I just had an appreciation for. I may have heard them, I can't remember anymore, but I think that you might appreciate them. Left hand. The one never taught to unbutton a blouse, who's never thrown a rock with accuracy, or learned to write legibly, the one who stays back a little in case he's needed for support, like holding the nail, the one in danger of getting mashed. The supporting role again, while his brother, the right, like Joseph, son of Jacob, gets the colored cloak. All the glory and daddy's affection, gets to wave goodbye, shakes hands, not like the left who doesn't get to play the part that everybody loves, the part that's sung, the melody. And this one for his granddaughter, Hollis. Hard call. My granddaughter, Hollis, said at 3, when I was up with God, I couldn't decide whether to be me or strawberry jam. It would have been for me also a hard call, between the lumpy climb to manhood, the risk of failure, the backward glance at my ignorance, or the voluptuous berry's little crown of green at its zenith. One defined season in which to sweeten, promise of return to flourish in other summers, the pleasure of being spread on buttered toast or spooned straight from the jar. And this last one, out at the edge. I should surely know by now, with the pewter light chilling the goldenrod, pollen dusting river, ferns of heron green, that the end is somewhere in sight, that the mashed down place in the weeds, now cool to the touch, is where the doe once hid her spotted fawn. I should know that early frost will sweeten the wild apples just before they rot, lying near the wall where Richard Ellis and his simple son Winston skidded stones they stacked by hand. I should know it's not as bad as it seems, but I would deny I'm living for the sound of partridge wings to throb again, wanting you to promise the geese will follow the riverbeds north, back to the pond, soaring above our farmhouse. I would say with a leveled eye, even though the butternut is raining down and believes, you're dead wrong about summer ending. Thank you, R.C. Okay, so they picked a